Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Style by Chizzy. On today's channel I'm going to be showing you how I made this beautiful dress with a folded collar. All right, so if this is what you're interested in, I would like to say you should keep on watching. If you're a return subscriber, thank you so much for always stopping by, and if you're just seeing me for the first time, thank you so much. I love you all. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button so you get to see more of our beautiful videos, and turn on your notification bell so you could be notified whenever we post beautiful tutorials like this. All right, so without wasting much of your time, I'd like to say let's get right into the video. We're going to be cutting on our pattern paper first, then to our actual fabric. So first things first, we're going to be drafting on our pattern paper. Like I said, I have a crepe fabric here and I have it to be 2.5 yards. All right, I later made use of, I bought 3 yards, but I later made use of 2.5 yards. All right, because this dress is a short one. So first of all, we're going to be marking our starting line for our beginner's sake. For those that are just joining us for the first time, we normally do this, and we're going to be drafting on our pattern paper. So we're going to be taking our vertical point, which is our chest line, bust point, our waistline, hip line, and the length of this dress. There's not going to be any joining on this dress like a half length joining down. No, it's going to be all together like a dress all along. All right, so I came down by I took my chest line, my bust point, my waistline, my hip, and the length of this dress is exactly the length I have on my pattern paper. All right, so but when cutting on my actual fabric, I'm going to give it about 3 inches or 4 inches allowance at the hemming part, because I want this to have like a hemming. I don't want a stitch on it. I want it to have a bold hem. Like I'm going to use my hemming gum to hem this particular dress. All right, so whatever is the length of your dress, add 3 or 4 inches to it extra. If your length is 35, add 3 or 4, make it 38 or 39, so that you can have excess allowance to make your hemming, because there's not going to be stitching on the down part. You're going to be using our hemming gum. So I divided my shoulder by 2, took my neck width 3, my neck depth 3. I came down my shoulder slope 1, and I'll reconnect my neckline and into that 1 inch slope I came down by. So I'm going to reconnect this down to the chest line, and I'm going to be dividing what I have there by 2. I have 8 divided by 2, which is 4, come out by a quarter of an inch, and I'm going to be marking my armhole curve. This is just what we do, like what we normally do. These are basic bodies. All right, so this dress is going to be very simple. Like it's a very, very simple dress, but I promise to take you along. So I promise to take you along like bit by bit for you to understand. All right, so on the bust points, I'm going to be dividing my bust part, which is my nipple to nipple, by 2. My nipple to nipple is 10, divided by 2 is 5. So my nipple by nipple is 10, yeah, divided by 2 is 5. So I'm going to mark my nipple to nipple from my bust point down to the length of this dress, and I'm going to reconnect the straight line from my bust point to my waist point to my hip point and to the length of this dress. All right, so the next sorry guys, the next thing I'm going to do on the armhole, I'm going to divide what I have there by 2, which is same 4. I have the points there already, and I'm going to use my curve ruler, like a curve, to connect it into the bust point just this way. All right, so we don't want that sharp edge there, and I'm going to be extending the line by 1.5 inch. You can extend yours by 2, so you can have when joining, you're not going to be having shortage of fabric. Do you understand? So when you get that mark, you extend your line by 1.5 inch or 1 inch, depending, all right, on how you are, like depending on how big you are. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do on the waist point, I'll be coming out by half inch on the waistline, and I'm going to connect that leg into the bust point. Please, I made a mistake. You're supposed to come down by 1 inch from your bust point before connecting this line, but it's all good. All right, so for the beginner, just come down by 1 inch from your bust point, then you connect your dart leg just the way you see me doing. All right, so that is it for the dart intake. So the next thing I'm going to do now is remember I said you're going to take 1 inch, add 1 inch, so that you will not have shortage of fabric. So I'm going to be dividing my bust circumference by 4. All right, divide my bust circumference by 4. My bust circumference divided by 4 is 11.5. I'm not adding any allowance yet, so I'll take my waist circumference divided by 4, mark it down, and replace the dart intake and add my allowance. All right, my seam allowance. All right, so on the hip part, I'm going to take my hip divided by 4. All right, my hip divided by 4 is 13, and I'm going to add 3 inches to it instead of 2 inches. All right, so I'm going to connect the line. Sorry, I gave my bust point, my chest line 1.5 inches allowance, my hip 1.5 inches allowance, and my my bust 1.5 inch allowance, my waist 1.5 inch allowance for sewing. Then my hip, I gave it 3 inches allowance. All right, so from the hip part, I'm going to connect down to the length. Hope you understand. So that is it for the drafting of the front of this paper. So I'm going to go out of this pattern paper of this dress, sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. You know, I said this is a very easy tutorial. The dress is very simple. All right, so I'll just go ahead and cut out my patterns. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do, I didn't do something to prevent our armhole from gaping. I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and I'm going to reconnect the line just the way you see me doing. All right, so I'm going to cut it out. This is going to prevent our armhole from gaping. You can use 1/2 inch, you can use 1 inch. All right, so this is what I have. It's going to prevent our armhole curve, like our armhole from, it's going to make that area very relaxed, you get. So we're going to be drafting on our back. We're going to be drafting for the back now. All right, so for the back, I'm going to get a fresh pattern paper, and I'm going to mark 1.5 inch for my zipper, and I'm going to mark a straight line down to the length of this pattern paper, to the base of this pattern paper, after which I'm going to mark our starting line. All right, I'm going to be marking our starting line. I will draw a line as a starting line. No, I normally do this whenever I'm making any dress on a pattern paper. So I'm going to take my vertical point, which is my chest line. I will first of all take the length of this, use my pattern paper, my front pattern paper, to indicate the length. I want it to be the exact length. Remember I said this pattern paper is 35, but when cutting on my actual fabric, I'm going to give it 3 or 4 inches for the hemming. So I'll take my vertical line, which is my chest line, my waistline, my hip line. All right, our back doesn't have a bust, but you can include your bust points if you wish. So it's totally up to you. So take your chest line, your waistline, hip line for the back, and the length. So I'm going to be cutting out the excess pattern paper, like the remaining pattern paper I have, so you don't get confused. You concentrate on the main pattern paper that we have here. All right, so what I'm going to do now is to label the lines. I'm going to label the I'm going to divide, but before labeling, I'm going to take my neck width 3, my shoulder divided by 2, my 1 inch for my shoulder slope, connect it into the neckline area. Then for my neck depth, I'm going to be using 1 inch. All right, so labeling the lines now: chest line, bust points, waist point, and full length. All right, so I'm going to mark a straight line down to the chest line this way, and the neck depth, the neck depth for this particular dress, the back will be open like you saw on the beginning of this video. So I'm going to take my bust point now so that I can get the exact opening I want, length of like how open I want it. So mine is, I made mine 15 inches. You can make yours 16 inches. I made mine 14 inches, sorry. So but you can make yours 15, 16, depending on how deep you want your back neckline to be. Do you understand? Depending on how deep you want your back neckline to be. So you connect it like a V, just the way you see me doing, the way I just did. All right, so take your bust span. So the bust span now, that's our nipple to nipple, is starting from our chest line. Remember on the front it started from the bust point, but now it's going to be starting on the chest line, and I'm going to connect a straight line from the chest line to the bust point, to the waist point, to my hip point, and to the length of this pattern paper. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you can rewind this video. The back is going to have a V neckline. Okay, so I'm going to divide what I have on the armhole area by 2, and I connected it into the chest line back, and I extended my armhole by 1.5, just the way I did for the front. All right, so I'm going to come out by half inch on the waistline, and I'm going to connect just the way you see me doing. So remember I said on the front you're going to come down by 1 inch from your bust point. At this point you're going to come down by 1 inch from your chest line. I did not do that, I forgot totally, but it's fine. I manipulated it when I was sewing, all right, when I was cutting on my actual fabric. So this is it for the back. The next thing we're going to do now, we're going to be inserting our body measurement, but before then I labeled my zipper allowance so that line will not be confusing to you guys. So I'm going to be marking down that chest line, just where your v-neck started. Just take your bust circumference divided by 4, add 1 inch sewing allowance. So I'm going to connect this line just this way, all right, for my armhole curve. Then my waist circumference divided by 4, and I'll replace the dart intake. And add 1.5 inch sewing allowance. And on the hip line, I'm going to take my hip measurement divided by 4 as well, my hip circumference divided by 4, and mark 3 inches. I'll add 3 inches to that for same allowance. So it's going to be free down there a little bit. All right, this is not an A-line dress. All right, so I'm going to connect this down to the length of this dress, as you can see. So we are done for the back, and I'm going to go ahead to cut this out. I just hope you guys understand what we did here, but if you don't, you can leave your question down in the comment section, or you can rewind the video and you will understand. So watch and see how I am cutting. All right, so guys, we're going to be cutting on our pattern paper. So what I have here, I have 3 yards of fabric. A crepe fabric is thick and is very soft, but I did not make use of all of them. I made use of 2.5. So if you're on the smaller size, you can make use of 2 yards or 1.5 if you don't want to make yours a long sleeve, right? Because the one on the thumbnail is a short sleeve, but mine, I'm going to be making mine a long sleeve. So if you're my size, if you're big, make use of 2.5. That's if you're making a long sleeve. If you're not making a long sleeve, make use of 2 yards. Same thing goes for sleeve. If you're small, like a slimmer person, if you want a long sleeve, make use of 1.5. If you want a short sleeve, 1.5 is still okay. So like I said, on the hem part, I'm going to be adding 3 inches. So I added 3 inches. You can add 4, you can add 3. I added 3 inches to mine on the hem part, and I'm going to cut all along. All right, so just watch me and see how I'm going about this. So I'm just going to trace out everything, and while tracing out, I'm going to be giving it about half inch. All right, half inch allowance. Okay, just to be honest, so I've added allowance to the pattern paper, but I'm just going to add about half inch sewing allowance again on my actual fabric. So guys, I am done cutting, and this is what I have here. All right, so I'll open it up and show you how it looks like. So this is the center front, and the other 2 is the side front. All right, so you're going to be joining them just the way you see me doing. You're going to be joining them this way. Okay, hope you're not confused. You're going to be joining the front this way. All right, so that is it for the front. We're going to be cutting for our back now. So I'm going to place my pattern paper. This is the center back. All right, so remember our center front is on a fold. All right, our center back is also going to be on a fold, but you're going to slit it open. You get? So make sure your center front is on a fold. You're not slitting your center front. So this is the back now. So I'm going to add same allowance I added for the front to the back. So I'm going to cut all through, and I'm going to add half an inch all along when cutting. All right, so the preventer zipper bulging on the waistline, I'm going to come in by 1 inch and I'll slant it up and slant it down. So I'm going to cut this together with the pattern paper, all right, on the actual fabric. So guys, I'm done cutting for the back and this is how it looks. So I'm going to open it up and show you how it's going to look like how it looks. So this is the back. That's the V. You can see the V shape I gave the back. All right, so the down part is where the zipper is going to be sitting. So I'm going to be joining the sides this way. This video will be I know is lengthy, like it's long, but I don't want to post it bit by bit. I just want to post everything together. All right, and while I'm doing this, I want you guys to understand everything, like everything perfectly well. Okay, so I hope you guys understand. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to be cutting my to join my body, before cutting the sleeve. All right, so I'm going to be joining the body. So this is the front. I got the front and I'll use my pin now to pin it down, so you guys will see how I will be joining them. So I'll place it this way, turn it like this, and I'll pin from down to the upside. Okay, so watch and see how I'm pinning it. So the way I'm pinning it is going to be the exact way you're going to join it. When you get to that bust side, you're going to fold, align it properly, just the way you see me doing, and you sew. All right, so the way I'm pinning, when you get to the bust, when sewing, you're going to fold it the way you see me doing. Are you seeing how it's looking? So this is how it's going to look after stitching. I'm going to use 1/2 inch to stitch down, and when I open it up, this is how it's going to look. So I'm going to do the exact thing I did on that part. I'm going to do it on the other side. All right, so that is it. So watch and see how I'm going to go about it. So I'll stitch it down. That is it for the front. So I'm going to bring the back as well, and I'm going to be showing you how to join it. So okay, so I'm going to place the 2 piece just the way you see me doing. That's the center back, just this way. This is the center back. All right, so I'm going to be joining the way I joined for my front. I'm going to be joining now. So I'm going to bring this the zipper side. I'm going to use my pin to pin it down. All right, so I'm going to, after pinning it down, I'll stitch it on my sewing machine, because I like closing my zipper allowance whenever I am making a dress that has a zipper, that has an opening at the back. So this is it, so you don't get confused. So that is it. So as you can see now, this is our center front, so you don't get confused. It's looking like the front now. All right, so we're going to be joining now the way we did for the front. We're going to do same for the back. I'm going to use my pin to pin it down. All right, why I'm using my pin to pin it down is I'm just trying to show you how it's going to look like after stitching. All right, so you're going to pin, I'm going to pin it down. Remember I said when you get to the bust side, you're going to fold. when you get to that boy, that curvy part, you're going to fold all along, all right, till you get to the length. Okay, so don't get confused. If you're a newbie, don't get confused. Maybe you get on that part and you think you're not doing it right, you're doing it right. Just fold it all along and continue stitching till you get to the end of that part now, as you see me doing. So this is how it's going to look. Same thing I did for the front. There is nothing different. So same thing I did for the other side. I'm going to stitch here all along. So same thing I did for this other side, I'm going to do it for the other side as well. Same thing I did for this side, I'm going to do it for the other side. I'm going to use my pin to pin it down. So I am done stitching it down, and I notched those places I stitched. Okay, so I notched those places I stitched. My zipper side, I did not stitch it down yet. I just used my pin to secure it down. I did not stitch it. I just used my pin to hold it down. So I am done stitching both the front and for the back, that leg. So, and I gave it a notch. As you can see, I notched it. So the next thing we're going to be doing is to join our shoulder to shoulder. So after joining the shoulder to shoulder, I'm going to join the shoulder to shoulder. After joining the shoulder to shoulder, I'm going to join the sides as well. And after joining the sides, I'll be trimming my armhole. Okay, so I'll be trimming my armhole. So I am done joining it. As you can see, our dress is really coming out really very, like, it's coming out really fine, like very fine. So that's the back, that's the v-neck for the back. So this is the front. The front has a round neck while the back has a v-neck. All right, so this is how it looks. So go ahead, you give your dress a good press. I don't have lights at the moment, but after sewing, I'm definitely going to give it a good press. So like I said, I'm going to be trimming my armhole. All right, so go ahead and trim your armhole. If your armhole is not wide enough, go ahead and trim your armhole. Then if it's wide for you, you leave it that way. Okay, so this is it. After trimming my armhole, I'm going to be attaching the sleeves. I'm going to be attaching the sleeves to it. So I'm just trying to trim out the excess I have all around there. So this dress is really very simple, it's very easy, and is looking very beautiful. So on the hem length, I'm also going to trim what I have, the excess I have at the hem length. Okay, I hope you're finding this video interesting, and as you're watching, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your notification bell so you could be notified whenever I post beautiful tutorials like this. Okay, I love you guys. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to attach my sleeve. I've gone ahead to cut my sleeve. I'm going to be leaving a link down the description box on how to go about your sleeve. I did not film when I was cutting my sleeve because I have a lot of video on that on my channel, so I'll leave the link down the description box on how to go about your sleeve. So I'll go ahead and join my sleeve and show you how it looks. So guys, I am done attaching my sleeves, and this is how it looks. So don't worry, the neckline, I'm going to show you how to go about your neckline. All right, so I didn't see the way the back of this dress is, but I decided to make my own back. I decided to make it to make my own kind of back, like the back I want. All right, so I'm going to open up that zipper side that I used my pin to hold, and I'm going to measure from one side of the zipper to the other side of the zipper. That's the round neck. From one side of the zipper to the other side, down to the other side of the zipper of the back. From one side of the zipper from the back, you measure down to the other side of the zipper for the back. So I am done. What I got for mine was 43. All right, so whatever you get for yours, you're going to get your pattern paper. I'll divide the 40. I got 43. Yeah, no, I think I got 44. Yeah, not 43. I got 43, and I divided that 43 by 2. 44 by 2, which is 22. So I'm going to get my fabric now, fold it like this. Just watch and see how I'm folding it. Okay, watch and see how I'm folding it. Can you see? You fold it in, then you fold it down this way, so you can get your for the exact 40 or the exact whatever number you got all around. Do you understand? I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. What I got on my neckline area was 44, so I divided it by 2 on a pattern paper. But now I'm going to be cutting it out on my fabric, so I'm going to place it like this, and I'm going to make sure I have SS. I'm going to make sure I have SS so that I can have that V neckline effect you saw in the beginning of this video. So I'm going to place my pattern paper and cut the SS out so we can work on the fabric left. So because this is like the fabric is dragging me back, so I'm going to cut it out, the SS I have there. I'm going to cut it back, then align my fabric very well. So this is it. So your fabric should be on a fold like this. You get your exact length. So from this side now, the length, you're going to slant it like a V all the way to the other side. If you're not satisfied with the length of the V you have, that means you should have SS fabric down there. All right, but I'm okay with the length of V I want. So when you open it up, you're going to have your exact, I'm going to have my exact 44. So you measure that down parts, and I measured it and I have my exact 44. So this is it. This is what I mean. Okay, I hope it's not confusing, guys. I hope this is not confusing. So I'm going to give it that V, like I want that V effect to be very sharp. So this is it. So I'm going to measure back, and I have the exact length I have on my dress, like on my round neckline. So if I open it up, I have the exact length I have on my round neckline. Hope you guys understand, guys. If you don't understand, just leave a comment, leave your question down the comments. So I'm going to stitch just the sides, leaving the base open. So guys, I'm done stitching the sides. I'm not stitching the sides of the collar. As you can see, the base is open. The base of this collar is open while the two sides are closed. I'm making this thing slow so you understand how to fix this collar now, okay? Because this part can be a little bit tricky, like a little bit. It's not tricky at all, if I can say. So instead of fixing from the back, you're going to open up the wrong side of your fabric of your dress just this way, and you're going to be fixing from the inside. That's from the wrong side. You leave a little allowance for your zipper. All right, so you're fixing from the inside instead of fixing from the outside. I hope you understand, but if you don't understand, you can ask questions. All right, so we've come to the end of this tutorial. After attaching my collar, I'm going to show you the end result on my body. I know you've seen it on the beginning of this video, but I'm still going to show you the end result on my body. Okay, so if you find this video interesting, if you find this tutorial helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share this video, leave a comment if necessary, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you could be notified whenever we post beautiful tutorials like this. To my return subscribers, I always love you, and to my newbies, thank you so much for joining in, and I promise you're going to be seeing more beautiful videos, more beautiful tutorials like this. Okay, so after joining, you're just going to flip it to the right side. All right, so we've come to the end of this tutorial. This is how it looks. This is how it looks. This is the outcome. This is the front and this is the back. Like I said, if you don't want your V effect to be, if you want your V effect to be like down, like come deeper at your back, you know what to do. If you want your collar to be bigger, bold, smaller, you know what to do. You reduce. If you want yours bigger, you add. So I'm going to see you on my next tutorial. Bye.